Hi everyone, welcome. Today I'm with Elke Wallace, who is the founder of Mastering Your Mind Matters. She's going to talk about the brain and what she does and how she does it. Elke, welcome.
Thank you, Philippa, and thank you for inviting me on your podcast.
My pleasure. Great to have you here. So, the brain. Let's talk about it. So, what is it? What is it that you do?
So I am on a mission to help people get to know and understand their brain and how to look after it and optimize its function. And I do that by offering different kinds of brain assessments, also called neuroagility assessments. And there are different ones for that include either only the neurodesign of a person, information preferences, intelligence preferences, sensory processing preferences, things like that. Or the other side of it, only brain fitness, how to optimize the brain and its function. So there's different kinds of assessments. Either they combine both sides, or they go only into one of the two areas.
Amazing. And how did you get into this area?
Well, it's a bit of a longer story, really. I got into how the brain works and all that, starting with counseling trainings. I started to get counseling skills trainings in 2006-07. I decided to continue that with counseling, CBT counseling and group work course 2008 till 10. That went into 2011, but they chucked me out because I didn't have a case study for my second year, so I only got a certificate and not a diploma. Never mind. I did also do a mindfulness course at the Glasgow Buddhist Centre. I used to live in Scotland at the time, which got me into mindfulness quite a bit, and found it very useful for relaxation, for different kind of approaching life, being present in the moment rather than rushing ahead 10 miles with the thoughts and missing out on what's actually going on at the time.
And yeah, that's super important. And so I know I've done mindfulness-based stress reduction, and it's amazing what good mindfulness can do for the brain.
Absolutely.
Like you say, and you see the brain scans of people who've been following mindfulness for a period of 8 weeks, and the stress areas are reduced. So the amygdala is reduced in size, that fear center, and what you're talking about is super important because people are rushing around and we're not paying attention to ourselves.
That's it. Yeah. I see that a lot in people when I'm out and about. I don't drive in a car, so I don't get the aspects of experiencing road rage and cheeky drivers and competing with bicycles and all that. I get the public transport perception of it all, so the perspective as well. So there's still a lot of people rushing about. Sometimes they get angry quickly and shout at the bus driver, even though it's not really the driver's fault if they forget their ticket, or if the driver doesn't accept their ticket because they have chosen or they have missed to decide to get the right ticket. So there's funny things you see on the way.
But yeah, absolutely. People can be funny. But I think what's really important is, you raise that people kind of getting angry and taking out on other people. But again, the one thing that you can control is your own emotion. In fact, that's the only thing you can control. You can't control what's going on in the world. You can't control what someone else does. You can only control yourself. How much of that kind of feeds into the work that you do around the brain?
That would go towards the emotional intelligence bit, because I do emotional intelligence assessments as well. And they, for people in leadership, they can go into a a so-called brain-based leadership program, which includes assessments at the beginning and at the end of the program to see what progress they have made. And brain-based leadership includes emotional intelligence to a large extent. It starts all with self-awareness, which is the foundation. It's like the foundation of a building. If you don't have that in place, you can't really grasp the self-management properly, or the social awareness, or the social regulation and social management, interactions with other people. So emotional intelligence is vital. It's not just for leadership, it's for everyone.
Absolutely. And do you think it's something that can be learned, or do you think there's some people who, I know from my time in corporate, I came across some individuals who read books, who've been on courses, yet showed zero emotional intelligence. Do you think that's the quality of the training, or is that the individual, or a bit of both maybe?
I think it's a bit of both, to be honest. It's the willingness to implement what you read in the books or what you learn in the trainings. And this implementation is key. But if people are struggling to, if they just do it for the sake of kind of ticking boxes, which is sometimes getting corporate, I think I remember that from my own corporate times, long time ago. It's for some it's ticking boxes, for some it's just doing something to show that you're doing something, but you're not really. It's like as if you don't really mean it when you don't implement it.
Well, I think the key thing you said is implementation. You know, we can all read a book and go, "Oh, that's a lovely book," and then change absolutely nothing. And you have to take ownership. And I think with anything, and your point around self-awareness, you have to take ownership to be self-aware. You have to recognize that you are in control of your actions. You are in control of your emotions. You are in control of how you behave in situations. And we can't go around blaming other people fundamentally.
Exactly. I keep saying that you made me or they made me. How did they make you? You know, you decide how you react. It's not, they cannot physically make you unless they physically manipulating you in whatever way that may be. And when it comes to speaking, they can't really manipulate you into speaking. So you have to be in control how you react and what you say. Words can be powerful as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, I love what you said about sort of, implementing take control and telling people that they can't control you. Because I know you've been on a journey to get where you are now. And there was a time long ago when you perhaps wouldn't have this conversation with me about what you're doing.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I would not have the confidence probably as well to have the conversation. I still consider myself an introvert, even though I morphed in recent months from a 90-10 to a 70-30 introvert, and I'm even on the way to a 60-40 one, I would say.
Brilliant.
Now. I'm still working on that. I see from people who are successful and they still classify themselves as introverts, even though you don't notice when they stand on stage and they speak. It's amazing, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And I think the thing about introversion and extroversion, it's not as simple as one is quiet and one is noisy. You know, there's an inner working going on there. But what I love about your journey is the fact that you have chosen to do something differently to move yourself forward. So what led you to that decision?
Well, I had to, didn't I? Because if you have a business and you're just sitting in your own little room, like I work from my office is my bedroom at home. So I work from home and I work for myself. I still haven't got kind of the means to outsource things, but I'm on the way to growing the business. So if I don't go out and get out there and tell people who I am and what I do, how will they know? They can't just, they wouldn't just, not everybody's doing social media, not everybody's on every channel. There's other ways as well. You can go networking. You still need to speak to people, and it's the speaking to people bit. That's one thing that I was really struggling with. There was also like trust issues from the past, trust with people, because you can't be friends with that and that person. People interfering in friendships and that kind of left a big mark. So in the end, I started going to the progressive events. I have to mention them because I'm so grateful for them for a lot of things. I started going to their events. November was the first one, and I still didn't dare to speak to people. I spoke to maybe 4 or 5, and early January 24, it dawned on me. I said, I have to set a goal to get out more, to make myself known, to make my business known, what I do, and to just get out there and to not worry about other people, just get to know them, and we can learn from everyone. So yeah, that's what I started, and I did all sorts of trainings, and I think one of the last big pushes was the public speaking training in March. That was absolutely superb.
Yeah.
And I can't recommend that training enough for people who are kind of shy to speak up and to stand out. It was such a massive difference that it made.
No, and again, the fact is that you made the choice. You know, you took the ownership of your own life, and when you think about that transformation, so say January until now, 6 months we're talking, and in 6 months, look how far you've come. Would you have thought that possible in the past?
Well, I also not really, to be honest, because I had the wrong people around as well. I was in some networking circles with mostly women. It was more like a women's group, and someone, I can't remember when it was who said it, but the person classified as like women's networking. It was just like a mum's group. That made me laugh. But I thought it's not that wrong, because I remember networking sessions with people, and it wasn't that much about, how you're growing your business and sharing knowledge and stuff. It was more like exchanging personal stories. And yes, personal stories are great and they're important, like when you do talks and things, but when you're more in a business sense, you do want to talk about what's needed in business, what could help others in business, things like that. And that I think was missing. And that's what I find a lot more now. I've got a wider community now. I'm involved in a few different groups. I was hesitant to join more groups on Facebook. I tried to get rid of groups, more like, because it's got more and more, but I'm no longer fussed. If it's a group that I find useful, where I could maybe contribute and help, and where I can make more connections, that's fine. Okay, I go into more groups now. So
Brilliant.
But as you say, it's the choices, making the right choices, and surrounding yourself with the right people as well.
No, I love that, and it's so true. You are who you surround yourself with the most. So of course you find people who are positive, uplifting, but getting stuff done, you can't help but achieve as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And what learning have you taken from your journey that now you use in your business to help others?
I would say there's a lot of mindset stuff. Mindset is still one of my favorites. I was into mindset work a lot before I got to know the ladies who did the trainings for neuroagility and the assessments and all that with me. So I was hugely into mindset work, and how my mindset it really only started to change properly from the time when I did the CBT counseling training. That was kind of the beginning. What some of the important things are, number one, if you do new things and you fear doing new things, work through that fear, because it's just the amygdala in the brain trying to keep you safe. That's what it's meant to do. It's still the old mechanism from millennia ago. It's trying to keep us safe from all dangerous animals. But we need to overrule that in order to start new things, to meet new people, start a business, whatever it is that needs done. You need to overrule that, because the fact is that it's the amygdala is trying to keep us safe. We need new connections in the brain, new neural pathways. in connection with the new activities, new people, whatever we want to create or want to do. We need new neural pathways, and they can only be created if we do the things. And when we hesitant, it won't go quick enough. We need to consistently do the new tasks, meeting more people, things like that. Otherwise, the connection doesn't get established. You want the connection established and firm, made more firm with this. They call it the myelin sheath. It's like a cable that, the rubber around the cable.
Absolutely.
So the copper thing in the cable is the connection, and the myelin sheath is the fatty surrounding insulation of it that establishes the connection and affirms it. So people need to work through the fear and do stuff anyway. The second thing is, don't be afraid of what other people think of you. That's a lot of people I see in business that still do that.
Mm.
They are worried about what other people think of them, how they are, how other people perceive them. But the fact is that if they know who they are, if they're sure about who they are, they don't need to worry about that, because other people can only view them by their own perception, by the perception of those other people, by the background of those other people. They shouldn't, it's what other people think is not really our business, is it?
And I think the way I like to describe it to some of my clients is, it's the other person's model of the world. You don't know what they're going through. They don't know what you're going through. They can only look at you through their own lenses.
Yes.
And that lens doesn't have all the information. That has their own experience, their own beliefs, their own values. But again, all you have is your own control. And what I also liked about, going through the fear, and you'll know this from the neuroscience point of view, whenever you get a decision, any information, it goes into the brain, and to the thalamus, it goes up to the intelligent brain and down to the emotional brain where the amygdala is. And of course, the first response you get is from the amygdala. It's that instant reaction, and then your intelligent brain kicks in, and then it goes, hang on, that shadow is just a shadow. It's not a spider. It's not danger. It's not threatening. But, it's training yourself to not react to the emotional response, but to focus on the intelligent response, to recognize that not everything is a danger, as you say. And just because we're uncomfortable doesn't mean it's bad, because you find growth in discomfort. You find opportunity when you go through the discomfort.
Yeah.
But you have to get over that initial emotional response going, oh, it's bad and scary. And what I love about your journey, again, is you've done exactly that. You've overcome that initial emotional response, or you do it despite the emotional response, perhaps better to say.
Yeah.
And through going through that, you've arrived at a place where you're an 80-20, 70-30, 60-40 introvert extrovert, and you're out talking to people and making new connections. And of course, action creates action. Success creates more success. So you've set yourself on a path where your brain can't help but help you to succeed, because you're creating those new neural pathways and you're going through it. You're not stopping, which is it's amazing. It's very courageous.
Yeah, I mean, there is no stopping. There is no stopping. I can't ever see myself retire, to be honest.
What is retirement when you're enjoying your life anyway?
Yeah. The thing is, as well, with retirement, sometimes you see older people, they stop working and they stop doing stuff. They stop being more active. They don't engage their brain in maybe trying out new things, maybe taking a new hobby. If just sitting there and watching Netflix all day doesn't help the brain, but the brain needs stimulation.
Yeah.
Even if it's just like crosswords, puzzles, going out in nature, a bit of a mix of connecting with nature and movement. Movement and exercise are good. It doesn't need to be. You don't need to go to the gym like 5 days a day, 5 days a week, but do a little bit of strength training, do a little bit of any kind of exercise. I prefer swimming's a good one, because it's kind of involving the whole body into the movements. but also, getting the right sleep, the right nutrition. But it's just it. People slow down when they retire, when they don't do much, when they're not active. And then with whatever other influences are involved with regards to Alzheimer's and dementia, it's not keeping the brain active just contributes to those diseases. So
movement and stimulation are important. And again, I guess that's what you're teaching with your courses and the assessments that you do.
Yeah, definitely. I had a first workshop. I held the first workshop for members of Spark Networking on Tuesday night. I called it Love Your Brain. I could also call it Supercharge Your Brain. And I went into 6 main areas, but also 3 other areas that are very important for keeping the brain happy and well functioning. So that was very good.
Brilliant. And what was the key lesson that you were teaching in that networking event?
Just to take care of your brain, and don't kind of idolize your calm or idolize your brain rather than your car. Your car's not with you all the time. I put the car analogy in my talk when I do the talk that I created in the speaker training. I started with who's got a car? Got the hands up. If anyone doesn't have a car, did you use the bus, the train, the bike? Same thing. Hands up. And the next question would be, do you have a brain? And I would have been worried if not all hands would be up. And I went and I go into analogies like that later on, and why it is important to love your brain more than your car, and why it is more important, because you have your brain your whole life. I have not heard of any brain transplants yet, so it can't be just like there's no organ transplants or anything about that. I never heard of that before. And it's you just want to keep it well functioning and well and healthy.
And it's something we don't think about, and I find it fascinating because the brain is, like you say, it's like any other muscle, really. You need to work it out. And
yes.
It doesn't have to be, we don't have to go off and do PhDs every week to work it out. It's new things. It's pushing through the fear. It's reading a new book or meeting someone and meeting face to face as well. I mean, I know we're online, but the face to face interaction for that stimulation. I feel it when I travel to somewhere new, whether it's a city in the UK or abroad. It doesn't matter. It's somewhere new. My brain starts buzzing. It starts making connections, seeing patterns, having new ideas. And it could just, when I went to Leicester for the first time a few weeks ago, never been before. Lovely place. Who knew? Thank you, Leicester. But from that, I came home with some ideas of other things I could do. It doesn't take much. It doesn't have to be complicated to keep your brain ticking over, does it?
No, it doesn't have to be complicated. Yeah, as you say, just going to a new place, meeting new people, exploring different places, exploring nature, all that. It's priceless. And as you say, I totally agree with you. Online is great, but it is never the same as live interaction with a person face to face. And I appreciate it. I kind of come to appreciate that so much now.
Me too. I mean, I'm like you. I'm a natural introvert. The pandemic, I sat at home with my husband. We live in a forest. It was very pleasant for us. I kept, neither of us lost our jobs, so we were both independent. We managed to keep working. We're very, very fortunate. But when the world opened up again, I actually struggled initially to want to leave, because that introversion had really set in, but also the lack of stimulation had set in to an extent, because you hadn't been anywhere, you hadn't seen new people or done new things. And so it felt a bit overwhelming to get back out there at first. I mean, but now I'm back in this space where, like you, I'm probably a 60-40 introvert these days as well. And I take a lot from those interactions with people. I take a lot from these kind of conversations where you're thinking about new things in different ways or just seeing another point of view. But when you're there in person, the physicality of it is just as important as the mental side of it, because you get that tangibility, that touch, giving someone a hug, shaking a hand. These are all connections. These are all something that sparks something in the brain. And it's important we keep that going.
Absolutely. It's vital. It's vital for human beings. It's vital for human beings, really is. And I'm sure you're not the only one who was overwhelmed after having been locked down, locked up, whatever you call it, for that long. It was not pleasant, and it's something that should never happen again, for the sake of, human sanity and human connection. It's just I have strong opinions about that. I don't need to go into those here.
That's quite all right. I think when you're an introvert, people, and even yourself, you make the assumption that you don't need people sometimes, don't you? You think, I'm okay. But the one good lesson I think the pandemic taught us is you could be introverted, but you're not a hermit. Like, very few people can be hermits, because we need that connection. We need that interaction. And for me, the lesson is people are so important. They're more important than you realize. So when you're feeling tired and you've been invited to someone's birthday and you want to go to bed, go to the birthday. You don't have to stay all night, but just have those moments, because they could be taken away again.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And hopefully it's not taken away because of another global situation, but it can take away because you haven't kept your brain stimulated, you haven't kept your body moving, and so you can no longer do these things. So I guess for me, the real lesson from the journey that I've been on, from you've been on, is you just don't know. So why hold back? Why keep yourself grounded? Just go for it. The worst that will happen is it won't work out, but at least you'll have no regrets, and at least your brain will keep being challenged.
Yeah. But I could relate to what you were saying earlier, actually, with when you said when you started going out again, and the brain had got used to not being out there and all. I sometimes feel if I'm indoors for too long, or don't do the connection with nature and going out to see people, the brain slows down. It's like it flattens, kind of. I just find I'm trying to find a good analogy, but I can't. It's like it goes flat in a way.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's like everything is just a bit harder, and the creativity isn't there anymore, but the drive goes as well, doesn't it? To use your car analogies, you're kind of pushing a flat battery in a car, and if you can just get it to turn over, you'll be good. But getting it to turn over feels like a lot of effort. And you almost don't want to, but then you do, and you remember how great it is. But it takes time.
Yeah, it does. The important thing is to kind of resist the urge to stop and slow down. Still kind of pick yourself up and move on. I do know that we don't all have, happy, motivated days. There are flat days when we feel a bit flat, and I sometimes feel like I got a brick wall coming down, and but then I tell myself, oh yeah, well, it's just today, it's just for a few hours, it will disappear. It's never the same. Life is, it comes in waves. It's never just up, it's up, down, down the whole time.
Life isn't linear.
No.
If it was, it'd probably be quite boring.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
I think it's knowing, though, that when it's hard, it's temporary. It may not feel like it at the time, but all things do pass with enough time and effort. It's staying the course sometimes.
Yeah. It reminds me of people being afraid of change as well again. I know I kind of had hinted at that probably earlier with the reactions of when you do something new, or when you can put the same thing with when change is coming and they're getting all scared and we want to go back to how it was, and it doesn't work. We can't ever go back to how it was. It's always just moving forward. We can't really move backwards, can we?
No, absolutely. And I think, going to your point around mindfulness and being present, where would you want to go back? Because really the only time we have is now. Time is is a man-made construct, but there could be no tomorrow. All you've got is the moment you've got, and each moment after that, and each moment after that. You can't change anything that's gone before.
Exactly. Yeah, that's
go on?
So important. I'm just thinking of when, being in the moment, when people go to concerts and they just look at their phones and things. They're not really in the moment, are they?
No. Seeing life through a lens, but not engaging. Still, always observing from afar.
Yeah.
Do you find with your work that do you see trends in behavior? Do you find a lot of, for example, execs who have got stuck because they've obviously gone so far and then they reach that ceiling and kind of don't know how to switch to the next gear, maybe?
I'm sure there's a lot of them out there, and I would love to help them, to be honest, because I do like stress reduction techniques and recommendations. I'm planning of getting a workshop together about stress, how it affects people, how it can affect people with different dominant areas in the brain in a different way, because not everybody reacts the same, do they?
No, absolutely.
So I'm planning to get a workshop about stress together, and I'm looking to get into companies as well, doing talks, preferably live, because I like interaction rather than just doing it online. I also find, despite having visual impairment, I still find the live interactions easier than keeping control of everybody on the screen. So live talks would be great to do them in organizations when they're looking after, if they have like a department or a section for staff well-being, doing like a lunchtime talk, half an hour, 45 minutes. I think it could help not only the executives, but also the other staff members to look after their brain more, what to watch out for, and maybe learn a little bit about the neurodesign. Of course, when I do talks, I can only generalize, because for everybody it will be different. Everybody has a different brain profile or brain, when I do the assessments, everybody's got a different profile.
No, absolutely. And that's a key point, isn't it? Actually, we are same, but we are different. And you want to speak to those differences to allow that person's individual state to be shifted to the next thing they need to do.
Yeah, but I can really do that kind of thing on a more individual basis.
Yeah.
I can give a general introduction to a group, how things are, and about dominant areas in the brain, and how different information processing preferences can affect someone's learning or development process, or even the processing of information. So yeah, that's some things I can do general, and more if it's more individual, I have to work with a one-to-one on a one-to-one basis.
I love that, because ultimately we are all individuals and we need our own things. Brilliant. And what's next for you? Anything coming up in the future plans that you're going to be involved in?
Future plans, I still have to record my podcast. I want to start my podcast, which I call Exploring Brain and Mind. It's funny how sometimes we talk about the mind, sometimes we talk about the brain. And someone said to me recently at some point, the brain is more the material, the physical, whereas the mind is more energy and the all the thoughts and everything. So, but it's kind of still intertwined, isn't it, in a way?
I mean, they are different, but they are the same.
Yeah.
I think maybe say one in people's mind represents the physical, and one perhaps represents more the metaphysical. And it's recognizing that the two can't exist without the other. One can't exist without the other.
That's it. Yeah, definitely.
Looking forward to that. Sounds amazing.
Yeah. And as I said about talks, I'm approaching organizations, and if anyone listens in and listens to the podcast and works in an organization and would be interested to have a talk, I do have a website, masteringyourmindmatters.com, and I've got the membership site as well that I'm working on, which is called agilemind.club. I had launched it, but I will relaunch that later in the year as well. Hopefully doing some more exclusive content there and some workshops or Q&A sessions as well. So there's quite a few things in the pipeline that I've got.
Exciting times. It really
Yes.
is. Well, congratulations on everything. And again, a massive congratulations on the journey that you've been on, because it's more about your personal success right now and what you've overcome. And thank you so much for coming on and being a guest.
Thank you so much, Philippa. I really appreciate your invitation, and I was happy to join you today.
Wonderful. Thank you. Take care. That's it.
Yay.
Very well done. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That was I think I was on one podcast before, but that was about authorship and
right
stuff, because I've that's one thing I didn't mention about the book.
We can always put the book in the link. So if you
it's not quite ready yet, but
okay.
the stress maze can go in the link. I can send you. Did I send you links and things on the?
Not yet. I haven't asked for them. So I'm launching at the end of July.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just getting everything ready. When I have edited all the videos and got them all good, I'll drop you a note to go, can you send me links? Can you send me headshots? Whatever you want to send.
Okay.
And then I'll also let you have this video as well when it's done, in case you want to use it.
I would put that on my Mastering Your Minds YouTube channel.
There we go. Perfect. So any other thoughts, questions? Happy with what we've done?
Happy with what we've done. Yeah. I need to work on my ums and ahs.
We all do. It's fine. I'll see if I can edit most of them out. But I don't think you're that bad.
I was very aware of it, so I sometimes can get stuck a bit.
Yeah.
That's another thing, and to be aware of it. And on last week's Pitch Perfect, I have to I learned as well about energy transfer. Sitting next to if you sit next to someone who's very anxious and there's strong energy coming out of them. I think I got some of that because I had messed up.
But I mean, it's all part of the learning journey.
Exactly, that's how I looked at it. I didn't beat myself up or anything about that. It's just like, okay, well, that's happened. Well, move on. You know what you have to work on for next time. So, let's go.
Absolutely. No, I mean, I admire what you're doing. It's amazing. So I hope. Well, I'm sure you're going to have lots of success before too long.
Thank you. Yeah, I hope so too. Now that I've got a Google business profile sorted out, which I was hesitant of doing. The YouTube channel. I try and be more consistent on the social media as well. I don't mind doing videos. I'm like, well, I just talk.
Yeah, no, why not?
I need to remember my pentagon a little bit more.
The more you do it, the more you remember it.
I
think I couldn't remember mine right now, if that helps. So it's all good.
Yeah.
Real.
No, but definitely thank you so much for inviting me. I really appreciate that.
No, my pleasure. Thank you for coming on, and I will see you in August at the extra session.
Oh, I'm not sure if I can make it. I still haven't got my HMRC issue sorted out.
Oh, no worries.
I'm in the red now. Not sure where to get the next money coming in for the next month. So
you'll get there
somehow. Yeah,
you will.
I know.
Well, I'll see you.
I'm not too. I can still sleep well.
Good. That's good. And hopefully, I'll see you before too long. Anyway.
Yeah, it'll be great. Take care, Philippa.
Thanks, Elke. Cheers.
Bye. Bye.